Well, crashing my party.
Stuart, you're messing with my mic. Good evening. Welcome to the City of Sugar Land City Council meeting for Tuesday, November the 1st. A little bit about our agenda tonight. In a minute, Stuart's going to lead us in the invocation. Following the invocation, we're going to ask the scouts to come down to the front. Council members are going to come off the dais, and then the scouts will lead us in the pledge to the nation's flag and the pledge to the Texas flag. Following that, we're going to have three special recognitions. We have in our house tonight, we have Tal Smith and Terry Poole, who were just honored by being inducted into the Astros Hall of Fame. So we're going to have a great recognition for them. We're going to have a National Disability Employment Awareness Month, and we're going to introduce our new police chief, Chief Poland, he's already been introduced because we introduced him next door, but we're going to introduce him formally on City Council. So at this time, Stuart, you ready for the invocation?
Good evening, everyone. God, thank you for the gift of life and the opportunity to serve the people of our city. Help us to act with character and conviction. Help us to listen with understanding and goodwill. Help us to speak with charity and restraint. Give us a spirit of service. Protect those who risk their safety for ours. Grant peace to victims of oppression wherever they may be. Imbue us with the strength to build a community worthy of the human person. We ask this in the name by which each of us knows you. Amen.
Amen. We've got the nation's flag right here. We can place the nation's flag, and then we'll do that pledge first, and then we'll do the pledge to the Texas flag. Who wants to lead?
Audience attention, please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
And now, please join me in the pledge to Texas.
Please join me.
Honor and take the flag.
Allegiance to the Texas, one state under God, one indivisible.
Thank you. Our good friends of Nancy. So at this time, I'm going to ask Terry, Jackie, and their family to come up. Tal, you and your family come up. Anybody that you brought with you, please come up to the front. As I recognize you guys who have been inducted into the Astros Hall of Fame. I'm going to tell you just a little bit about each of them, even though they're too modest to do it themselves. So let's start with Tal. Came to Houston when he was 27 years old. November 1960, and he was the assistant to the new National League franchise's general manager, Gabe Hall. Most of y'all are not old enough to remember that, but I am. Nancy and I both are. He was involved in the construction of the Astrodome in April of 1963 as the primary liaison for the Houston Sports Association. He was also involved when they built the Astrodome and they found out the grass wouldn't grow. He was the one that came found out He was the one that had to come up with the AstroTurf. He served 3 years in New York with the Yankees. He had a brief memory lapse there for a while, but he came back to Houston in 1975 as a general manager of what was then the last place Astros club. He built him into a winner and captured the Western Division crown in 1980, the first postseason appearance for the Astros in club history. He was that, and for that, he was named the Executive of the Year by Sporting News. In 1981, he formed his own company, Tal Smith Enterprises. But once again, Houston got a hold on him. In 1994, he came back to the Astros organization as president of baseball operations, where the club earned 6 playoff berths in a 9-season span from 97 to 2005, including the first ever World Series appearance in 2005. He was the driving force for construction of Minute Maid Park, which opened in 2000. And he remained president of baseball operations until 2011. So, Tal, we want to honor you tonight, you and your wife and everything you've meant not only to the Astros organization, but to Houston. And now to my friend Terry Poole. Terry was a native of Melville, Saskatchewan. I knew it was Canada, but I didn't know where it was. He was signed by the Astros in 1973 by a scout named Wayne Morgan. Also, we also saw him win Most Valuable Player Award at a national tournament and became, who also saw him as a national tournament. Terry was inducted in the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame in 1995. He played in 1,531 games, all but 15 with Houston. From 1977 to 1990, he was an All-Star in 1978. The 1980 NLCS against the Phillies, Terry hit .526. We're not going to tell the Astros about this. I don't think there's anybody hitting .526, not even hitting .500. He went 10 for 19, setting a series record batting average. During his career, he hit 300 or better 3 times, and his .993 fielding percentage is the best among outfielders in Astros history. His career with the Astros spanned a couple of generations. From the team's first 2 division championship clubs in 1980 and 1986 to his final year in Houston of 1990. Now, what you don't know is Terry was also the coach of UH Victoria for how many years, Terry? 16 years, where he continued to play baseball and develop young boys into men as part of that baseball program. And only recently, I think it's only been in the last couple of years, you retired from that in June this year. Time flies when you're having fun, isn't it? But we wanted a chance. We wanted to wait until one. They were both honored and inducted into the Astros Hall of Fame. And then we wanted to honor them here for everything they've meant to our city. So let me read these 2 proclamations. Tal reminded me that I have to get him out of here by 7 o'clock so we can go watch the game. Tal, we'll start with you. A proclamation, Office of the Mayor, Tal Smith, Astros Hall of Fame inductee. Whereas Sugarland resident Tal Smith, the longtime Astros executive who worked in and off for the club in various capacities over 35 years, was inducted in the Astros Hall of Fame on August 13, 2022. Tal, at 27 years old, arrived in Houston in 1960 and served as an assistant to the new National League franchise's manager. And whereas the historic Astrodome opened in 1965, first ever indoor baseball stadium was lauded as the 8th wonder of the world. Some of us remember that. And then it goes on to say how you, when the grass didn't grow, you replaced it with AstroTurf, and the hill was named in your honor. In 1994, he served as the president of baseball operations, and the club earned 6 playoff berths in a 9-season span, including their first ever World Series appearance in 2005. Tal was a driving force in the construction of Minute Maid Park, which opened in 2000, and with many unique characteristics, including a 10-degree hill, which was affectionately named in his honor. But the reason we honor you today is not just because of what you accomplished in sports, but because of what you've accomplished with people. And I know you and Terry are close. And what you've accomplished when you were leading the organization and the young men that you developed over that time and what you've meant to our community. So it's with council and the mayor, we want to honor you with this proclamation, Tal, you and your wife. And now to my friend Terry Poole, who broke into the big league shortly after his 21st birthday. I don't know about you, but I wasn't very focused when I was 21 in 1997, and we're a fixture in our lineup, Houston's lineup for 14 seasons. Inducted in the Astros Hall of Fame on August the 13th of 2022. And I know you just got through throwing out the first pitch, which Nancy and I missed. We were actually at one of those games, but we were down there shopping for the grandkids, so we missed it. My daughter didn't tell us that was going on. You know, we talked a little bit about, you know, coming from Saskatchewan, but, you know, it's not just your record. It's the young men that, like I said, that you developed from boys into men when you were a coach. And I know you did that when you were playing for the Astros organization too. And that's what we want to honor. I know your kids. I know you and Jackie's heart. I mean, you guys have been great friends. You've been great residents, citizens of the city of Sugar Land for a long, long time. And we wanted to honor you tonight for your induction in the Astros Hall of Fame. Terry. Yeah. And we're a picture-taking organization here, so we're going to get a bunch of pictures. Council, if y'all come down, we can pull everybody together.
Great. Everyone looking right here, please. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And last one. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Thank you.
Just a quick note here to all the gentlemen in the back. Our friends Robert and Bridget McGowan. We both live in Venetian, and we always stop at that right-hand turn going on to 90. Okay. But I have a, you know, you've come some ways when you get your own bobblehead, and so I have this to Joe. 33 years of friendship. I know that because we've lived 43 years in Fort Bend County, 33 years in Sugar Land. So 33 years of friendship and 4 wonderful terms of office. That's for you.
That is very cool. I think my grandson's going to take that from me, but we'll have to see. And now I'm going to ask Councilmember Jacobson to come down, and Laura Levine, CEO of the ARC of Fort Bend County, if you could please come down. Stuart, I'm going to let you introduce the topic.
Thank you, Mayor. There are Can you hear me? Does this work? Okay. There are people in our community who have intellectual and developmental disabilities, and there are advocacy groups like the ARC of Fort Bend. And what I want to do is I want to introduce Laura Levine, the CEO of the ARC of Fort Bend, to tell you a little bit about the ARC and what they do. And then I want to come back and tell you just for a moment why we're celebrating them tonight.
Well, good evening. Thank you for having me tonight. I am the CEO of the ARC of Fort Bend. I've been there 17 years, but the ARC has been busy in Fort Bend County for over 50 years. And we are primarily an advocacy organization. We do advocate for people with disabilities to live, work, and play right in their community. That's our biggest advocacy. But we also have direct programs that we offer for people with disabilities and their families. We have the largest Special Olympics delegation in this entire area. We have a social recreation club. We have bowling every Saturday up at the Bolero Sports on Highway 90. We also offer education advocacy for parents who have children in the school district to help them get the services and supports that they need to benefit from instruction. So we're very busy at what we do, and we stay busy because it's important to us to represent those with disabilities and help improve their quality of life. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. So I had the good fortune to serve on the ARC board for 11 years, the last 4 of which were as its chairman. And under the leadership and the passion of Laura, I learned that there are people in our community, there are businesses in our community that hire people with intellectual disabilities. There are people in our community who are stuck at home, but Laura's organization and so many in our community, what they do is they help bring people out of the shadows and into the light. And what we're celebrating tonight is Sugarland businesses. Last month was National Employers of People with Disabilities Month, and I think we've got a partial list that we're supposed to be showing up here. But nonetheless, there are people in our community who are working and contributing where they wouldn't normally be able to contribute. And if you ask me, a business owner or a business manager who says, hey, I'll do that, I will hire somebody, I'll take that responsibility, to me, that is what citizenship means. So that's why we wanted to celebrate those folks tonight. Good? Yeah. Oh, okay.
We've got a proclamation for National Disability Employment Awareness Month. October, we couldn't get it in until November. Whereas National Disability Employment Awareness Month celebrates the contribution of America's workers with disabilities past and present and showcases support, inclusive employment policies and practices. And whereas people with disabilities play an important role in a diverse and inclusive American workforce, the theme for NDEAM 2022, disability, part of the equity equation, and whereas federal efforts to recognize people with disabilities began in 1945, when Congress declared the first week in October to recognize the employees with disabilities. The wording of the federal designation was done in 1962 to include individuals with all types of disabilities. In 1988, Congress expanded recognition from the first week of October to the month of October as National Disability Employment Awareness Month. And whereas disability has been and continues to be part of the rich diversity of our nation and our workforce, during this time, we celebrate the contributions of people with disabilities, past and present. We also commit to ensuring all workers, including workers with disabilities, have equal opportunity to gain skills and work in inclusive, supportive workplaces.
three. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And last one. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
And now I'm going to ask Assistant City Manager Doug Brinkley and our new Chief of Police, Mark Poland, to please come down. And I'm going to let Chief Brinkley get started, and then Chief Poland, then I'll bat cleanup.
Thanks, Mayor. I'm going to keep this pretty short because I've said a few words earlier. Man, it's kind of nice to see all the Blues in attendance tonight. It's probably one of the safest places in the city right now. It is not that often. This is a special day for all of us in law enforcement. It's not that often that we install a new police chief in the organization. Our previous chief retired after 30 years of service in July of this year, and I kind of kicked off a national search to find our next police chief. I alluded to earlier when we had a reception, we had an immense amount of support, feedback. We sent Chief Poland through a very arduous and rigorous selection process, and unanimously, overwhelmingly, he was selected as the best of the best. I think all of us are so proud to have him here. He has over 26 years of law enforcement experience in Loudoun County, Virginia, and he's really exemplary in his leadership style, but also some of the success of the programs they initiated there in Loudoun. We are very fortunate to have someone of his caliber join us with the city of Sugar Land. Without further ado, I'm going to turn this over to the mayor, but I want to say, Chief, so happy to have you with us, and I know you're going to do great things for the city of Sugar Land. Yes, sir.
I'm going to go ahead and ask all the officers if y'all would come down front. All the police officers that are here. So when we were doing the recruitment, the first question that I asked Chief Brinkley was, it was very important to me that our police officers all be aligned and that this would be someone that that they could work with and that could lead the organization. And he assured me that was absolutely the case, and that's what we've seen, I think, tonight by the show of all these officers coming down. But I also, one of the best interrogators, interviewers, that Chief Poland got to meet was my wife at dinner. And I got to witness my wife interview him, interrogate him. And when we got home, Nancy told me, she said, that's the guy. And that coupled with the fact that the E-team, Mike, Jennifer, the entire team, because Chief Poland was vetted, you've probably been interviewed more for this position than any position you've been in, was interviewed by the directors, the E-team. It's important that we get it right. We got it right. We got it right. He's a great example of a leader. He's going to be a great police chief. We're looking forward to the contributions that he's going to make to the city of Sugar Land. So with that, let me introduce to you our Chief of Police, Mark Poland.
Thank you so much. Mayor Zimmerman, I can't thank you enough. Council members, city manager, everyone for the support. And yes, it was a very long process. I will keep this short, but I'm very proud to consider myself a resident of the city of Sugar Land now. It's very interesting, and it's a very good feeling for me considering I was born and raised in Virginia and lived there my whole life. I'm proud to now consider myself a Texan. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My wife likes to remind me that now, too. However, I feel blessed to be considered and to serve as your chief of police. So my commitment to you is I promise to provide the most professional police services that I can. and the support here. I'm excited for it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to give you 100% every day of the week, every day of the year. And this community, it's now my community, and I feel blessed to be here. And I can't thank you enough.
Let's move to the officers up there on the dais.
All right, looking great, looking great. Up here, please. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Last one. 1, 2, 3. One more.
Item number 2, public comment. Thomas, do we have anybody signed up?
No,
Is
sir,
there
Mr.
anybody
Mayor.
in the audience that would like to speak on one of the agenda items?
We have no online signups as well, Mayor.
Okay. Nobody online. Going to move to item number 3, the consent agenda. Consent agenda is going to be taken in one motion unless one of the council members wants to pull one of the items, at which time we'll take that as a separate item and a separate motion. Everybody good with the agenda? Do I have got a motion by Kermally? Do I have a second? Got a second by Ferguson. You vote at this time, please. And it passes. Do a hand vote. And it passes 6-0. Councilmember Watley's not here tonight. Item number 4, donations and grants. 4A, consideration of an action on acceptance of a donation from the Sugar Land Legacy Foundation in the amount of $30,000 for T.E. Harmon Center recreation improvements, authorization of a budget amendment in the amount of $30,000 to revenues and expenditures, and receive the 2022 Sugar Land Legacy Foundation annual report. We have with us tonight Cindy Dees, our Director of Public and Government Affairs, and Sunny Sharma, our Sugar Land Legacy Foundation Board President. Cindy, Sunny.
Yes, thank you so much, Mayor, City Council, City Manager. So pleased to be here tonight. I serve as a staff liaison to the Sugar Land Legacy Foundation. As Mayor mentioned, I'm here joined by Sunny Sharma, who's the president of our foundation and has been for quite some time, and we thank him for his service tonight. I also have the listing of the board members here, and they couldn't join us tonight besides Mr. Sharma, but they have also served in a volunteer capacity for us on the Legacy Foundation board, and we are just so grateful for their continued service. The Legacy Foundation annual report is a requirement of the foundation's bylaws, so that's why we're here tonight. We're going to review the financial condition and activities of the foundation and preview next steps. And so I'm actually going to let Mr. Sharma take over for a bit, and then I'll be back up because we have a donation item that we'll be going over with you as well tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to Mr. Sharma.
Welcome, Sonny.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Cindy. You know, every time I come here, I get more excited because what you guys do to honor those who truly deserve a recognition, from little people to famous people. So I really applaud you all for what you have been doing for this city. And I'm really proud to be a citizen of Sugar Land. So it's an honor to present to you the 2022 Sugar Land Legacy Foundation Annual Report. This year, in accordance with the Sterling Committee and their consulting report that was reviewed with the City Council last fall, the foundation took the opportunity to review our mission and make some updates. Our mission now, Our mission now states the Sugar Land Legacy Foundation works with the City of Sugar Land and its citizens in an effort to promote and sustain quality of life projects and goals. Of course, this foundation was established in 2010 with the help of seed funding and staff liaison provided by the City of Sugar Land. And the foundation assists with the donation and the quality of life enhancements so that we can have the legacy of our citizens in Sugar Land to live forever. Additionally, in line with the Sterling Consulting Report, the foundation also reviewed its bylaws. The foundation original bylaws were approved in 2010, we were formed. So the foundation recommends the following amendments to be made by the City Council. As you can see, bylaws, we propose revisions, and these revisions are creation of term limits. Currently, no term limit is in place. We recommend that directors can serve up to 3 consecutive terms. We also recommend to have the ability to designate standing or temporary committees, and majority of those members must be on the board. We also recommend to create a Directors of Emeritus position. 1 or more former directors may serve in that capacity. The proposal bylaw will be on your council's agenda on November 15th for City Council for your consideration. I'm very proud to say that the Legacy Foundation has contributed around over $750,000 in estimated values of quality of life projects in our beautiful city. Projects that we have worked include bronze statues in various public spaces like Sugar Land Memorial Park, Sugar Land Town Square, and Oyster Creek Park. Memorial Park, Gold Star Families Memorial Monument, which will be unveiled on December the 7th, so I hope you all can come. T.A. Herman Patio, T.A. Herman Craft Closet, which you will be considering for acceptance tonight, and Cindy will be talking more about it. Universally accessible playground at First Colony Athletic Park, where children with special needs can also play with their friends who are gifted with good health. We continue to vet and accept donations on behalf of the City of Sugar Land. Current projects for the foundation include our final commemoration effort for Memorial Park through the Welcome Home Project, which we are currently reimagining because we're looking at using a medium other than bronze, since much of the current art in the park is bronze, as well as other projects, priority projects that identified by the City Council, such as the TRIS No. 4 Plaza and the Heritage Museum. In 2022, the Legacy Foundation assisted in collecting funds for both the Bob Brown statue, which will be installed soon in Lake Point, the Gold Star Families Memorial Monument, to be unveiled on December the 7th, and the Brick Paver Program, which is still continuing on. Let me briefly share with you the financial conditions of the foundation. In 2022, we will incur operating expenses of approximately $19,588 for our part-time administrator, Beth Wolf, who has done a great job for us, and have incurred very big cost of $672 for our administrative expenses, such as PO Box and banking needs. This leaves us with a fund balance of $49,889 year to date, $27,238 of which is committed to projects and $22,651 of which is operational. In addition, we're excited to grow our board even further with plans for expansions within our bylaws and in accordance with the report from Sterling Consulting Firm. 2023 will also bring the hiring of our first ever executive director, who will help us lead the foundation into our next chapter. With that, I'd like to thank the city, their vision, for your ongoing support, and I'd like to turn it back to Cindy, who has done a great job as a liaison for the City of Sugar Land and Legacy Foundation, so she can talk about the foundation donation and review the next one that are coming up. Thank you very
Sonny.
much, Mayor. Thank you, Council Member.
All right, so we're going to talk about a new donation that we are so excited to have here at the City of Sugar Land at the T.E. Harmon Center. As President Sharma mentioned, the craft closet and improvements at T.E. Harmon, and also a bench. And this is in honor of Patricia Matheny, who was a longtime member at the T.E. Harmon Center. So there's a photo of Pat. And so I'm going to read a little bit about Pat and her background, because this is in honor of her. So Pat was a 1954 graduate of Lamar High School in Houston, and in 1958 a graduate of Texas Tech University. She was a home economist and worked for a utility company in Chicago, Illinois for 30 years. She was a member of the Home Economists in Business, or HEIB. Patricia loved sailing on Lake Michigan, traveling, and updating her 90-year-old Chicago bungalow. After retiring, Patricia moved back to Texas. She volunteered at the T.E. Harmon Center for many years, spending countless hours in the art and craft room at the center. Pat loved her friends, arts, crafts, and her activities at the T.E. Harmon Center. Pat's longtime friend, Ruth Hennigan of Chicago, is making this donation to the Sugar Land Legacy Foundation and the City of Sugar Land on behalf of Pat. The bulk of the donation is specifically for the arts and crafts area of the center, as it's the place where Pat felt a deep connection. She spent a lot of hours there. We are looking at naming the space Pat's Corner or something similar, TBD, and that will be marked with a sign outside of the closet. A bench with a small plaque in honor of Pat will also be donated and installed outside of the entry to the center in Pat's honor. I also I want to recognize that the donor, Ruth Hennigan, and her family members, Karen and Linda Hennigan, are also joining us virtually tonight from the Chicago area. They couldn't be here tonight, but hopefully we can meet them sometime in the future. But they are on Zoom with us tonight. I also want to acknowledge the hard work of staff in the Parks and Recreation Department. I do have Kimberly Terrell and Sandy Penman, who were great advisors to the Hennigan family on this donation and where we landed today. So they're here in the audience with us. And I also want to acknowledge Heather Blue Jacket, Joe Chesser, and Jacob Langerud. I knew I was going to butcher that. They're not able to join us, but they're staff from Parks and Recreation that also helped out to prepare for tonight. So this is some renderings of what the donations are going to look like. The bench that you see will be installed right outside the senior center. And then the closet, which we spent some time, really trying to add color to the closet and make it something unique and special for the members, and not just, a plain closet, but something with a little flair, because that's what Pat would have done. So one of the most notable aspects of this donation that I want to point out is that we're taking what was previously an underutilized space at the T.E. Harmon Center, and we're turning it into something beautiful and useful for the center members. It used to be used for storage, and so now we're going to be making it into more organized, and people can walk in and actually look at their craft supplies and pick out what they need. So that would definitely have made Pat happy, I think. The funding proposal, the total anticipated cost for the renovations, including the bench, is not to exceed $30,000, again funded from Patricia Matheny's estate. This is an approximate cost. Any remaining funds will be utilized for further closet enhancements. For example, we have considered adding a door that would have some decorative elements that would match the stained glass on the windows of the cabinets. And then also any remaining funds could be used for craft supplies for the senior center. All purchases that are optional would be vetted through the donor to ensure they were okay with spending that remaining funding. So tonight, staff is asking council to accept the full amount of the donation for $30,000 in honor of Pat. Staff will proceed with the improvements that were outlined, which are expected to be completed in early 2023. And of course, we will celebrate and have an unveiling to share with everybody once it is completed. So with that, our staff recommendation is the Sugar Land Legacy Foundation and also the Sugar Land Legacy Foundation Task Force, which is made up of Councilmember Jacobson and Mayor Zimmerman, reviewed the donation, and the Legacy Foundation approved the donation at a recent board meeting. Staff recommends that the City Council approve the donation in an amount not to exceed $30,000 from the Sugar Land Legacy Foundation and a budget amendment in the amount of $30,000. With that, we'll answer any clarifying questions.
Thank you, Cindy. I'd like to thank the Hennigan family for this donation. We really, really appreciate it. Council members, William? Got a motion by Kermali. Do I have a second? Got a second by McCutcheon. You going to vote at this time, please? And it passes 6-0. Thank you, council members. Item number 4B, consideration of an action on acceptance of 2 urban area security initiative grant awards in the amount of $283,778.47 for the purchase of rescue task force equipment and for cybersecurity threat detection and attribution software. You have to tell me what that is, Gabe.
Yes, sir.
And authorization of a budget amendment in the amount of $283,778.47 to revenues and expenditures. We have with us tonight Gabe Levine, our Emergency Management Administrator. Gabe.
Mayor, Council, thank you very much for the opportunity to brief you all this evening on this grant. So just a little bit of background. The Urban Area Security Initiative is an annual grant program. It started in 2003. It's focused on terrorism threats and incidents in what are known as high-threat, high-density urban areas across the U.S., so really big cities and their surrounding communities. There's a total of 36 of these in the U.S. When you look at this grant program, it's nested underneath the Federal Homeland Security, State Homeland Security Grant Program, so more than half of the funds that are allocated annually to that program go to this subset of it. We fall in, obviously, within the Houston region Urban Area Security Initiative, which gets roughly $24.5 million, or in 2022 at least, for projects, and we competitively we compete for those dollars within the region. So we submitted for 2 projects this year, and we got both of those awarded. Those 2 projects are the Rescue Task Force equipment, and this will be going to Fire and EMS. So it's $69,600. It will outfit 7 ambulances, 2 supervisor vehicles, and 6 fire marshal vehicles with ballistic protective equipment and trauma medical equipment to respond to incidents of active violence and mass casualty incidents within the region. So these projects are supposed to be geared towards regional response, regional capabilities. So we made a case for, as a regional partner, responding to mutual aid incidents throughout the greater Houston region, that this not only benefits the city of Sugar Land, but benefits the greater Houston area writ large. And then we have our cybersecurity project, which, as you mentioned, is some specialty software. And what that does is it allows our IT department to identify cybersecurity threats and then track those back to the illicit actors that are executing those things, so they can follow up with prosecution and the law enforcement side after the fact. This will protect approximately 1,300 potential intrusion points throughout the city, so all of our laptop computers and access points that the city owns. All told, we were awarded $283,778.47. And in order to receive that, we need council to accept that grant. This is a no cost match, so it's 100% funded through the grant program. There's no dollars other than staff time placed on the city to receive that. So our recommendation is that we accept those 2 grant awards, and we'll start working through it.
Thank you, Gabe. Any questions? Go ahead.
Yes, sir, we have. So in 2019, we did an initial allocation for rescue task force equipment, and the fire department outfitted all of the engines and ladders with that equipment, and this is kind of tidying up the remainder of it. Sometimes we get partial awards. We don't always get everything that we ask for.
Good job.
Thanks, sir.
Got a motion by McCutcheon. Do I have a second? Got a second by Ferguson. You'll vote at this time, please. And it passed 6-0. Thank you, council members. This time we're going to move to item number 5, closed executive session. 5A, closed executive session is authorized by Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code in accordance with Section 551074, public officers for the purpose of deliberations regarding appointments to and duties of the Independent Ethics Review Board, Sugar Land 4B Corporation, and Zoning Board of Adjustment. And Thomas Harris, we're going to join Thomas in the council dining room. One time he sits in the chair. It empowers him. We're going to go ahead and reconvene. And at this time, Scouts, if you could stand and introduce yourself, tell us what troop you're with and what badge you're working on.
Hello, I'm Alex Shinar. I'm in Troop 731, and I'm working on the Communications Merit Badge.
Hello, I'm Dimitri Shinar. I am part of Troop 731, and I am working on the Citizenship and the Community Merit Badge.
Hello, I am Philip D., and I am working on the Communications Merit Badge.
Hi, I'm Colt Roberts, and I'm working on the Communications and Citizenship in the City Merit Badge.
Hi, I'm Evan Lambert, and I'm part of Troop 731, and I'm working on the Communications Merit Badge.
Hello, I am Ryan Locke. I am with Troop 731, and I am working on the Communications Merit Badge and the Citizenship Merit Badge.
And who's your Scoutmaster? Okay. Thank y'all for coming tonight. Item number 6, appointment 6A, consideration of an action on the appointment of 2 members and 1 alternate member for terms expiring September 30, 2025, and appoint a chair for a term expiring September 30, 2023 to the Independent Ethics Review Board. Here we go. For a term ending September 30, 2025, Rachel Varghese as a member and Steve Traley as a member. Larry LeBeau as an alternate 2. And to appoint as chair for a term ending September 30th, 2022, Krista Segemiller. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Got a motion by Jacobson. Do I have a second? Second by Kermali, if you vote now. And it's a 6-0 vote. Thank you, council members. Item number 6B, consideration of an action on appointment of 3 directors for terms expiring September 30th, 2024 to the Sugarland 4B Corporation. I'd put in Amy Sewell as president to reappoint, Steve Bezeshny as director, and Kurt Kirchhoff as director. Do I have a motion? Motion approved. Got a motion by McCutcheon. Do I have a second? Second. Got a second by Kermali. Y'all are slow tonight.
We're waiting for them to have a chance over there. This is the heavyweight.
Yeah, y'all, yeah, that's exactly right. That's what I thought too. Y'all are heavyweights.
I'm worried.
6-0. Item number 6C. All right, get ready, guys. Here we go. Consideration of an action on the promotion of 1 alternate to member and appointment of 2 alternates for unexpired terms expiring September 30th, 2023. Appointment of 2 members, promotion of 1 alternate to member, and appointment of 1 alternate for terms expiring September 30, 2024. And appointment of a chair and vice chair expiring September 30th, 2023 to the Zoning Board of Adjustment. And we have, hang on to your seats, ladies and gentlemen, appoint to terms ending September 30th, 2023, Robert Botchner as member, Danilo Alvarado as alternate 1, and Ravi Brombat as alternate 2. For terms ending September 30th, 2024, Chickershaw Pravada as a member, Josh Morton as a member, and David James as a member. Philip Butler as alternate 3. Chair and vice chair with terms ending September 30th, 2023, Chickershaw Pravada as the chair and Josh Morton as the vice chair. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Got Kermali, and we have a second by Councilmember Lane, anchor in the right side over here. Vote at this time, please. Getting ugly now. And we go 6-0. Item number 7, City Council City Manager Report. 7A, City Council Member Reports. The Shaw, let's start with you.
Mayor, if you didn't know, the Hindus of our community have been celebrating Diwali in a big way. and I've been to a lot of them over the past week. And Telfair had a beautiful one at Cornerstone Elementary. We had one right here outside of Town Center last Saturday. And we also, I'll let Stuart talk about the next one. And also, a few of us, Suzanne, myself, Carol, went to the new BB Italian restaurant that's opening up here in Town Center next week. Excited to have Benjamin Berg and his hospitality in our Town Center, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And they're slated to open, I just found out today, they had to cancel some of the stuff that they've got set up for this week due to some construction, but they will open on Tuesday, November the 8th. And look forward to stuffing myself with more Italian food, more than what I need. Thank you.
Thank you, Deshaun. Carol.
Okay. I attended the FCCSA annual neighborhood representative meeting, and the Landing at Crescent Lakes won Neighborhood of the Year thanks to their outstanding neighborhood representative of 29 years. Not mentioning any names here, but yes, that was me. And Fort Bend County Lit 2 had the grand opening of their pump station, and it's a $55 million pump station that can have 7 pumps that can pump 1.2 million gallons a minute. So if we ever have a Hurricane Harvey or anything like that, we all should be dry in that area. And so, yeah, it was a really great event. And the pump station was named after Andre McDonald, who has served on the lid board for over 20 years and was really, really passionate about keeping Sugar Land dry. And the mayor presented a proclamation naming last Wednesday as Andre McDonald Day in Sugar Land.
Thank you, Carol. Jennifer.
I attended the Dia de los Muertos celebration in Town Square. On Saturday was with Councilmember Ferguson, and I think that was it. It was a very festive event. We were proud that we had moved a portion of that over to Town Square because all of it was held at the Heritage Museum prior. And I also went on a tour of the Williamson County Animal Shelter, so that was very interesting.
Stuart.
Thank you, Mayor. You turned off my microphone. I attended the Sugarwood. Ooh, I like the mayor's microphone better. I attended the Sugarwood annual HOA meeting, and Councilmember Kamali and I were very honored to be accepted and shown the VIP treatment at the Baps Mandir Diwali event, which was really an interesting and moving ceremony.
William, last but not least.
Always last. So probably the most important thing that I did is I attended the Sugarwood HOA meeting to make sure that Stuart did a great job in our community, along with everything else that we've been doing. And I would say play ball, because it's getting close.
It is getting close, and I'm going to be real brief. Mike, I'd like to compliment you and staff, in particular Jennifer May, Jim Calloway, and Elizabeth Huff. We had a retreat a week ago. It focused very heavily on redevelopment. Staff did an outstanding job of not only preparing us for the retreat and what we should focus on, but actually giving us a very representative, I think, sample of things that could be done. I think we all came away pretty fired up to get after it. Mike, City Manager report.
All right, Mayor, you forgot Scott did a great job with the buses as well.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
So don't want him to go unrecognized.
Scott, go ahead and tell us about the mouse again. Yeah, go ahead and tell us about the mouse.
But I'll keep moving. Mayor, I had the chance to participate in the city softball tournament where police and fire gets to beat City Hall and Public Works every year, and it's very therapeutic for them. But we gave it a good go. I think police won. The police department won. Is that correct? The weather. Well, they were winning when the weather came. city.
You know, that's just not right. I'm playing for Public Works next
Yes,
year.
well,
And then we're going to see who wins.
Well, Public Works wins sometimes when they hire seasonal workers, but City Hall did win one game. We were very proud of that, Mayor. I want to publicly thank Doug Brinkley for serving as both ACM and police chief for 5 months and leading the effort to recruit someone that I believe will be a phenomenal police chief for a phenomenal department. Publicly welcome Chief Poland on his first day, and then go Stros.
Go Stros. That went, Carol's right on that, man. 6:42. Thanks for coming, Scouts. John, Mike.
They're supposed to do evaluation.
I ain't doing that. Yeah, Astros